Actually, to tell you the truth, it's live, and everything that is being said right now could be heard. But I don't really care because this music, you can't even hear it, so you can't hear how cool of a vibe it is. It's some dope ass, public domain music.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. All right, man, we're live. Welcome. Welcome all to the first episode of the Waiting for Pop That Baby Maker podcast.
Episode 1.
Episode
Where
0.
in the world is the Pop That Baby Maker?
He's probably sleeping somewhere, it was my guess.
Sleeping?
Yeah.
Or tequilaing?
I think it was rum last time.
Oh, that's right. It was rum o'clock. Of course.
I'm drinking tea because the last time that we did this, by the end of it, I could barely speak.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah. So what's up, man?
Oh, the usual. I've been recently doing some shopping for the holiday for myself on the eBay.
All the deals.
All those deals on the eBay. I found a new game where I like to go on there and I search Super Nintendo, and then I put a filter on it of $2
On eBay.
on eBay,
Yeah.
and then whatever comes up, if it's like most of them are like 99 cents, I'll bid $1 and then forget about it for however long it has left, 4 days, 5 days, whatever. And then every now and then I get a surprise email that says, "Hey, you won a game."
Nice.
So I got a bunch of games recently.
Oh, anything, you're not going to get any of these super rare games for $1, but
No,
you could get some fun ones, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I got a super fun one that me and the missus have been real competitive over, to the point where, fists can fly.
Oh, yeah? What?
So we've been playing Wheel of Fortune Deluxe Edition for the Super Nintendo.
And?
Because apparently she thinks she's a better wordsmith than I am.
I mean, technically it's like crossword, right? Almost like they give you a clue, and then you just figure out the letters. It's like,
right.
here's
it's like
one
Hangman,
section.
but no one's life is in jeopardy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And you win money and fabulous prizes.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that?
Does that have digitized voice in it? Does Pat Sajak talk to you in that game when you're playing?
No Pat Sajak.
Oh.
But you do get the digital Vanna White to turn the letters for you.
That's hot.
So that is pretty good.
Do you know anything else about that game? Like when it came out, or?
It came out in 1993, which makes some of the clues really difficult to nail because you're trying
Like
to
ancient
recall
history.
1993 references, and you're like, oh, person of interest in 1993. Like, ooh. Like, their categories now, if you watch Wheel of Fortune, it's like, this is what's the clue? Like, this is a thing you do, or an action or something. It's like taking a selfie, and you're like, but it's like 1993, so it's like snapping a Polaroid. Like, fuck Christ.
Oh yeah, that moment in history.
Yeah,
I forgot that was. It's like
How
playing.
do you spell Polaroid? Fuck.
It's like playing an old version of Trivial Pursuit. You just feel like a complete and utter moron. Like, I don't know any of these.
Like, All right, the one that my wife got was climbing Mount Everest. It was like an event, like climbing Mount Everest. Like, when was the last time that you like really heard like exciting news? Somebody just climbed Mount Everest.
Yeah, but
Ah!
it's such a
like
a
the 90s.
Yeah, but that's I know. But as an event, like if that's the category or the clue is event, and it's climbing Mount Everest, like by that logic, blowing my nose is an event. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's just
Yes, it is.
Everything's an event.
That must have been the category. Taking a selfie is the event.
Taking a selfie.
the category.
Wait, that's not in the
Take it-
1993 version.
No. But I'm saying these categories still exist, so I guess it would have to be event.
All right.
Still qualifies. Not
Yeah.
taking a selfie.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or it could be
So,
under
yeah.
the category like douchey thing people do way too much.
Yeah. Nowadays, it definitely would be.
So yeah, man, I didn't get to do much gaming this weekend yet, because I just told you before we started that I drove to New Jersey and back to see Tool, which is
Yep.
worth it. But when we're done doing this, I'm going the F to sleep. I'm not in a rush, and
I climbing the Subaru.
yeah, it's a comfortable bed. But I have been playing God of War since the last time that we did this and we talked about it. And
Yep.
Pop's not wrong. It's
a
great.
good game.
It's so good. It's just, and I see like where it's going now, and like now really cool shit is starting to happen. Cause
Yeah.
like I said, he guessed that I was 10% into that game, and when I fired it up, it said I was 16% through the main story. So
Pretty close.
pretty close. And now it's like, it's just getting really cool. Talking about an old game, most people have played it at this point, but you haven't, right?
No, still haven't played it yet.
I think you can get it for like $20 now.
Yeah,
I think so. It's like
definitely worth
the
looking
greatest
into.
hits.
Definitely want to check it out. On the list with a bunch of other ones that I haven't gotten to yet that I want to look into.
Do you have any interest in a PS5?
Ooh, a PS5. That is a question.
Or as it's going to look like when they write it anywhere, PSS?
PSS.
I mean,
Psst.
somebody must be talking about that already at this point, but I haven't heard it yet. So I'm not saying I came up with it, but can we talk about how that's going to look like, either the PSS or the P55?
Yeah. Do you think they'll try and avoid it and use a Roman numeral for 5?
Well, they haven't
Be
yet,
the PSV.
but they already have that. It's the Vita.
I mean, yeah, but that's like actually the Vita. Like this would be like
But it's a PlayStation Vita, PSV. PlayStation Portable's a PSP.
right.
Yes,
but,
if they use a Roman numeral to try to avoid PSS or P55,
right.
they're going to run into the same problem where people are going to say, but you already have a V. It's the Vita.
Right.
And
So either way, they're pretty screwed. It's gonna look ridiculous.
do you think that the Vita would have done better if they marketed it as the PSP too? And just stuck with their tradition of just numbering their consoles?
I don't know. That's a good question because then releasing a 2 does say to me like we took the first one, we heard what people liked, we heard what needed improvement. Here's what we came up with.
Right.
So a 2 does say I might have some more confidence in this thing. But do I think that it would have helped it live longer? Like, I'm not sure if those consoles.
I have one right here.
I mean,
And this sold like, I think something like 80 something million units.
yep.
And the Vita did not do that. The Vita, I can't remember what the number is. We should look it up at some point, but it was not anywhere close to that.
Not that.
No.
Right.
So 80
So
million people like the PSP may be enough to go buy the PSP too.
right. I feel like it'd be maybe not smart thing to do from like a business standpoint, but like with the Nintendo consoles, I love how for the longest time they had the home console and then they had the portable console, and then you could get like some of the games that you got like close home versions of. You know,
Uh,
you get the portable version. So you get like so you get
right. Like it's just like a watered down experience.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But like still a fun experience and on the go. So like if every company did that, like if you could get like the PSP like for PlayStation and then you could get a Xbox on the go, you know, a Go box or whatever,
I'm surprised that that hasn't happened yet too.
like a Microsoft handheld.
But they're probably just like we got
With their
lucky with the Xbox.
yeah, and with their like tablets and computer because it's Microsoft, so it's everything, you
The
know.
Surface, yeah, they'd be competing
Yeah,
with themselves.
right.
Like they can
So
provide that experience on the go way longer than anybody else already has. Like with this Apple Arcade, man, if you're willing to bring around, we've got some pretty low profile Bluetooth controllers. If you're ready, if you're willing to carry one of those around, like everybody I've seen who uses Apple Arcade at this point, they're using like an iPhone with either the controller hooked up to the, something like this. I just happen to have one of these right nearby, but
oh, with the clip, yep,
yeah. Or they're just playing on their phones, and I'm like,
like
nobody's
on the screen.
yeah, nobody's really talking about using the iPad or the Apple TV with a controller,
Yeah.
and that's the only way that I've even used Apple Arcade. That's
Apple TV does seem like the best way to try and take that in.
uh,
And like the iPad, I could see if you're on the go, like doing it that way. But I feel like that's a hard sell to try and sell at Apple TV, though, just to get Apple Arcade.
well,
That's like Google Stadia trying to push people.
well, I would say that comparing, like, if you were gonna buy, I think you get more bang for your buck right now, anyway, to buy an Apple Arcade and a controller to go with it. I mean, an Apple TV and
Mhm.
the $5 a month subscription to Apple Arcade and a controller, any controller that you like, and you've got hundreds of. I, Look, it's not going to replace your Assassin's Creeds or your God of Wars or your Uncharted's and shit like that, but
Right.
it's for look, people like you and me who go to work and you don't have a whole lot of time to dedicate to gaming. It's a good
Hmm.
way to like see a lot of games when you lay down for a second and fall asleep for a couple hours. Pop says. But yeah, man. What the hell was I just saying? Oh yeah, Apple Arcade. You could get a lot of experiences crammed into a short amount of time for relatively low cost, almost no cost when you think about what it costs to stream like these other things with Google Stadia. You still have to buy the game. I don't know. We're gonna get into all that
Right.
because it looks like
Right.
we can finally fucking start now. If
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like Apple Arcade, like this is like a good place for them to start and jump off and start trying to grab the attention of all the major developers and try and get some of these bigger titles in here.
right, let me just opening up the repertoire here. Yeah, man. If people, I mean, you haven't tried it at all.
No. Nope. Just what you showed me at your place.
There's some, like I said, it's not going to replace those AAA title games, but there are some good experience that you can, and there's a game that I've been playing on there that it's not like a finish it in one sitting type of game. And I've been going back to it and going back to it and going back to it for weeks ever since Apple Arcade rolled out. It's that What the Golf game. It's fantastic.
Right.
Just let me know when it's good to join. I don't want to fuck anything. No, fuck anything up. What are you talking about? All right, let me just.
If we haven't screwed up already, I don't think you're gonna.
That's true.
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Yo,
There he is.
What up, guys?
rocking that pink. Love it.
I laid down for like 1 second.
Hey,
And
man.
then
I think it was longer than a
I
second.
just woke up. Like I haven't even I didn't eat dinner or anything like this was very unplanned.
Oh, man. You must have missed the opening when we were talking about how we're both fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
I drove to Atlantic City last night to go see Tool and then back this morning. So,
Yeah.
and that was, I worked, got out of work, drove down there, did the whole concert, stayed and gambled, drove back this morning, then like hung out on the couch all day and then started doing this and like, I haven't really had a full night's sleep. I feel like one of my eyes is closed more than the other one. Anyway,
Yes.
we actually do have a lot of stuff to talk about, though, right? I mean, you guys are still down
Yeah.
to go through this list, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
for
do it.
So what I actually was able to do is, if I go over to this screen here, I have the Half-Life Alex, the announcement trailer that they watched. Did you guys watch that?
I did not watch that yet.
I have not seen it yet.
All right, so if you queue it up, we'll do the countdown thing. We could all three start it at the same time.
Give me a second here.
All right.
You have it queued up.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yep.
Yeah, just make sure you drag the slider back to absolute 0. And then this is the practice one. I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, play. Right? 3, 2, 1, play. This is the technology at its finest. Ready?
All right. Let's do
Okay,
this.
here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. And it's playing on the stream as well.
I'm here.
I don't
what's
know.
the plan?
I don't know what any of this shit, like if it's relevant or what.
Yeah.
There's no straight shot to the vault. I'm gonna head inside.
I don't know much about Half-Life.
Got it.
I'm with you every step of the way.
It looks great though.
Yeah, it does.
It's unloaded now. Combine channel's really picking up. They know you're coming. You need to get out of here now.
That's cool.
Wow. That looks really nice.
That
They've got Dad.
They're gonna find out what he knows, and then they're gonna kill him.
All this is my fault. I never told you. I couldn't. I'm so sorry, baby.
You will not save him. Alex Vance alone cannot prevent his fate.
Close your eyes, honey.
Damn.
yeah, it looks. Who's this guy? Is that supposed to mean something? I don't know.
That's like
I don't know either.
the agent, I think, if I recalled anything from this.
So,
The G-Man, that's what his name is.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, hey, it looks like they're not fucking around.
Yeah, no, this looks really good. And it looks like you got a lot of like single hand actions, but happening at the same time
Right.
with both hands.
Mhm.
Like she's got that, she's like hacking something with one hand and shooting over her hands, like both sides still picking up.
Yeah, which headset has the hand that has the controllers that they say? I guess it supports that you can like use move individual fingers. The game can detect that. One of the headsets has that
it's
feature.
theirs,
Valve's.
right? They have
The H-
valves.
The Vive? Or no, that's HTC.
No,
What is theirs?
let's see. The Oculus, right? Or no, it is the Valve Index.
Oh, the Index. That's right.
Yeah.
It's
The
like
new
launching. I think it's like
It's launching
Launching
with this
with-
game.
yeah.
Right. Well, this game is clearly meant to get more install base users. You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just keep selling the thing that people want packaged with the thing you want to sell. It's kind of
Yeah.
a no-brainer.
I'm super excited about this though, just because like Valve, like they've always all right, I can't say always because some of the stuff they came up with recently completely fucking made me shake my head and say, what the fuck are you guys doing over there? But like, they're big games that they come out with are usually really big hits. Everybody loves them. And like to see them use the Half-Life name like is either going to be because it's something they really stand behind and they're really proud of this, and would this VR work, like if this is the next step for gaming, then them taking the time to do this. And if this is a full-length game too, like I heard 15-hour campaign
Yeah, I heard
like,
that
through this
as
game.
well.
It
So
was like a really big VR game.
it is. It's huge, but now we're talking about VR games. We're not talking about VR tech demos or little indie games.
Or
We're talking about
experiences, like
full-length- yeah, we're talking full length AAA, like time to throw down and play a game in VR.
right.
So this is really going to put the wear on how long can you stay in the headset,
And I gotta be
And-
honest. Oh, God.
and what happens when people stay in the headset too long.
Right. I mean, I have a pretty. I haven't, I've used VR enough to know like what it is, but I haven't stayed in the headset for a very long time. It's always like half an hour max for me, and then I
Right.
got it, and I'm pulling it off. And I'm sure that I could condition myself to leave it on longer. But I think you need to find a nice balance between like what your hardware can actually accomplish, and then like, if giving somebody full control to walk around, or even like driving, and, when you're not moving but your body feels like it should be, like you
Right.
got to figure out how you do that. Like I would almost prefer it to be like a cutscene type of thing where, like, okay, I'm not controlling this right now, But yeah, it looks like this game you're gonna move almost
Yeah.
on rails, like from position to position, or maybe have a couple choices, like you go left, right, or straight. But
Right.
you're gonna
Even like a Time Crisis type of setup would be like a cool
yeah, because
kind of thing.
you can't say that game wasn't fun. Time Crisis would be a great VR
That was
game,
great.
by the way.
Hell yes, it would. I would play the shit out of Time Crisis 3 in VR. Oh my god, all day.
Video game gods, make that.
Make it happen. Oh,
PSVR 2 launch title.
Time Crisis 3.
I could be wrong, but like, I don't know if it's already been announced or they've just said that they're working on it, but I think they're also doing a Portal VR game as well.
That sounds like you could like hurl yourself into projectile vomiting across your living room.
That would be amazing. I would pay for that.
Could hurl yourself into hurling.
Dude,
Just one of those endless loops. What would that look
all
like?
about it.
Look like
I would
It would
love to
be
find out.
Fucking super trippy.
you could either play Portal in VR or drink this canister of ayahuasca. Either way, you're gonna be flying through a loop infinitely.
Why or? Why not both? Why not and?
Your brain will implode.
That's all right. As long as it does it through a portal and it looks cool.
So, yeah, exactly. To wrap this up, though, I mean, do you guys are you gonna spend $700 on a VR and a capable enough PC to run it so you can play Half-Life?
See, I found 1,000. I went to their website. It's $9.99.
Well, no, this thing's gonna be available to play on the Rift and the what's the other
The
Oculus? No,
Yeah.
the Rift is the Oculus like powerful one, but then they also have the
The Vive.
no, Oculus has one, the Quest, where you don't need you
yeah.
don't need a PC to play the Quest, but this one you're gonna
You need the PC link cable for
right,
it.
right. So it's gonna be for everything except PlayStation VR or
Right.
Nintendo Labo VR.
Oh, that would be the best one. Hell yeah.
Okay, so that's
But to answer no, I don't think I would.
I'll watch somebody play it.
Yeah.
No, I would love to play this thing. I would love to.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't love to play it. It looks fun,
Right.
but I'm not spending that money to play it.
Right. No, I mean, I'm getting to the point now where my PC is getting ready that I need to do upgrades to it.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to get something, and I would really like to get VR for the PC because I feel like I could get more out of it hooked to the PC.
Believe me, my next computer is going to be capable of doing it whether or not I actually buy the headset. I just want,
Right.
if I decide that I want to be able to. I don't want to pigeonhole myself.
Yeah.
I could upgrade this computer to do
definitely
it,
love
but
that.
I think if what we were just talking about, I'm going to hopefully build a new computer, and this one will be like the stream machine.
Yep. Yeah. So if I spent the money in the near future to do upgrades, and I would consider getting the headset, and this would definitely be like one of the first games that I would consider getting for it, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's a
Is this
no-brainer.
is this going to be the one to push me to do that? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if it's gonna be like hands down, like this has got to be it. Like back when the Wii U came out, I said that people were fools for buying the Wii U. What is it? It's a tablet that hooks to your Wii. What am I, an ignorant American customer? Get out of here, huh?
It almost would have been better if that's what it was.
Right. But then Mario Kart 8 came out, and I saw that, and I was like, yo, I got to get a Wii U. I was sold. That was the thing. It was Mario Kart 8. I was like, okay.
It's all about the
Man.
games, and that one
Yeah.
didn't have the third-party title support,
Yeah.
and that's why ultimately it failed. But that's going off on a tangent.
But will this be
Right.
the game to push me to get VR? I can't say that it is. I can't say that watching this makes me scream, I need a VR right now.
This is going to make the people who have been waiting for Half-Life 3 or Half-Life anything to have a breath of air to go and say, okay, now I'm ready to go buy VR because I've been waiting for this. Like there's young kids who games, primarily are targeted towards. I mean, not primarily anymore because we've kind of grown up with the whole culture, but they don't have that passion for Half-Life. They've heard about it the way that I've heard about it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they're all going to intersect one day, like the whole Half-Life and Portal, and they exist in the same universe, like that's interesting to me. That if anything, Portal's the reason why I want to know more about Half-Life, because Portal is just such a great, fun, engaging experience.
Right. It's a well-delivered story through fun dialogue.
Yeah, totally. And a cool gun mechanic where it's not actually a weapon, but it's like the most useful tool.
Yeah.
ever.
Just a fun physics tool to break the world.
All right. Anything else about Half-Life Alyx?
Half-Life Alyx in particular? No. But I am excited that Valve is getting super involved in VR.
That is cool.
If this is where
They're putting
gaming
them
is going,
right.
I'm for it.
Pop.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I haven't played any of the Half-Life games, so I don't know. I don't know.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's the other thing is
They
I don't have any history with the series either.
Yeah.
So maybe I should actually go back and see. I watched my brother play the game, but
Yeah.
never
See, I've
got
always-
super into it.
I've always thought about doing that. Like, oh, maybe I'll just the games are, like I always see them pop up on Steam for like super cheap.
Oh, I think I
So
own
I'll
all the Half-Life
play it,
games because of
and
that.
then
Yeah, me too.
it ends up being where it's like I think like the first one you can just go back and play like pretty easy, but then the second one it's like
Oh, it
I don't know,
runs.
like the way it released or something, and then like yeah, like it's like really hard to go back and play the second one for whatever reason. It's like you have to have a certain version, and then you have to download patches to get it to run. Like I don't know, I've just never.
I did
It
that.
seems like it's too much work.
I started doing that with like the Doom games, and some of them ran okay, and some of them didn't. And then
Yeah.
I really started getting into. I wanted to buy into that new Deus Ex when it had come out. So I went and played the first one. It was pretty good, fun game. I didn't get through the whole thing, but it ran well enough on the computer, for an old ass game. That's a fun one. You guys should check that out. It's cheap. Anyway, you want to talk about the Google Stadia's out now, and people are getting their founders editions and their activation codes. But the word on the street is that this thing's not really ready for a actual launch, and I have to agree with what everybody else is saying. It's kind of disappointing, but it's almost like Google is saying we're gonna bite the bullet and bring like game streaming to the forefront, even if it's not us who take it all the way there.
Right.
Because now everybody's like, well, Microsoft and Sony already kind of do this, so they've got the architecture already there. I mean, I can't claim to know how it works, but
Right. Isn't Microsoft also trying to compete now with the xCloud?
Well, see, like that's the thing is like
xCloud is
Microsoft's
better.
Been trying to do like the streaming. Like they announced this like a couple years ago that they were working on it.
Yeah, but xCloud, the games that are included with it, you pay your monthly thing, and then those games are there for you to play when you want to. Stadia, you still have to buy the game. It's literally a store. It's a storefront. It's like a Steam or a Epic Games Store or any of these launchers.
That shouldn't require a machine to run it.
Right, that's what you're getting. But
Right.
At 20 hours, they were saying on the best settings uses 500 gigs or something. Like,
Really?
It
So
just
it's
seems
eating
weird to
through
me.
people with data caps then.
Yeah, like
Yeah, like,
that's,
and you
that's, like,
could-
the big thing is that like I feel like
you could buy your way out of that too, but
yeah.
like
Yeah.
then why aren't you just going and buying yourself a gaming machine?
Yeah.
I could see like where this technology is going to be useful for people who really like, I don't know, they're always on the go and don't want to bring their shit with them everywhere, and you could play the shit on your laptop or your old shitty Hewlett Packard fucking as long as your internet's good.
Yep.
That
and
part's cool.
That's what I'm hearing too, is that you better have real good internet.
But I use remote play. I was playing God of War on remote play on my shitty internet at work on the iPad, and you can link up the DualShock to it, and it streams it from my PlayStation at home. I mean, I know that's not exactly the same thing, but it's using the internet to broadcast a higher powered machine's CPU usage to where you are. Like, it works. I mean, if the internet fizzles out on either side, then it starts
But-
getting dodgy. Like, it doesn't always disconnect, but you could, then it starts dropping frames and stuttering.
Right, but that'll happen with anything.
Exactly. That's, and this thing's already saying like, oh, if you're going to use it, make sure nobody else is streaming like TV or music. And it's like, the thing's not ready.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me when all the VR headsets started coming out like a couple of years ago. It's just like weird that it's Google behind the very first one that's coming out, and it has all these problems. So it like kind of stands out because they're such a big company. But
Yeah. It is true. You kind of hear Google and you kind of like expect that they're going to nail down the
yeah,
best of whatever they're going to try and come out with, or at least be like one of the top three. but it sounds like there's still quite a bit of room for improvement.
I mean, I played it when it was a true beta test because they emailed me and were like, sign up to maybe be allowed to try this when we launched a beta, and I got selected. Maybe everybody did, but it worked great. And they had one game you could play. It was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So that's the only reason I even saw any gameplay of that, and it was fun and it worked really well. And that was
Nice.
that was with my own controller, just running in a browser, But now I guess, like, you look at their website and it's saying, Stadia, you get up to 4K 60 frames per second with a little note. Gameplay on TVs with a little note, a little tiny number. Take your favorite games within your laptop, tablet, or phone with a little note. As long as you have Wi-Fi with a little note. Like, there's all these caveats and shit. Like,
Yeah. We can say all this stuff as long as we also let you know somewhere else that you need to have really good internet. You need to be under this. You need to do this. You need to set this.
and only works with a Chromecast Ultra. Like, the Chromecast Ultra that you have already will
the
work.
wrong model.
It'll work after we update the firmware, but like that for some reason that's
Right now, it
that's
doesn't.
not happening like on day one.
Yeah.
The controller, I remember they, like, a month ago, they announced that, like, I think the controller is usually like Wi-Fi, so you don't have to have it connected to anything, but at launch, like, you have to have it connected.
Now, here's
like,
what it is.
wired.
You can use it wirelessly only with I think the Pixel phone. That's the only thing. But everything else that you use it for... No, actually, that's not true. You can only use it wirelessly with the Chromecast Ultra, but it is Wi-Fi only. It's not Bluetooth to the Chromecast. It's Wi-Fi to the same network that the Ultra gets its internet. But the Ultra, you can plug in an Ethernet cable too. So as long as it's all on the same network, though, then you're good. But now I'm thinking about that. The controller needs its own Wi-Fi. You're going to be drawing away from my internet for the controller.
Yeah.
And you could have just used some other... I don't...
Do you think that helps saves, like, on inputs?
What, like latency and shit?
Response time and everything?
Yeah, I guess if
Like
it's all synced up to the same network, maybe.
To the same network, it can go out at the same speed instead of having to go through the device and then go out.
That might be... I mean, that would be the best reason I've heard so far. Like, again, I don't know how this shit works, but...
Otherwise,
I
I'm
think
not sure.
Whenever I watched one of the things, that's what they said it was for.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm not really sure why you wouldn't just connect through the device. Like, make it, just make a new Chromecast with it and have it have Bluetooth or whatever to connect to the controller. And
See, I'm the kind of person where if I have the opportunity to play with it plugged in, I'm gonna do that anyway.
yeah, right.
Is that your chair?
Yeah, probably.
Oh shit! Yeah. What do you guys think of the controller? I think it looks cool. I don't know about the D-pad, but
Yeah, that's what it is for me, man. I love the SNES controller because I love a good D-pad.
you love that D.
I do love a good D. It's got to be just right in the hand,
Yep.
If
I
it
think
ain't
it
right,
looks really, like, thin to me. It looks like a thin controller.
Speaking of controllers, this is a good segue. I think the PS5 controller had the patent. People are talking about that. We don't have to go too crazy into it, but did you see that at all?
I did see they did away with their light bar,
Yeah, that's like
which
the one
is
thing.
people's concern over the VR because that was supposed to move forward.
Okay, so on that note, when I look at this, like, I see that it's there's an omission clearly. Of course, it's Business Insider, and they're like, "Oh, disable ad blocker,
Oh, you bastards!
whatever." So, I don't really see like what the. I turned it off. What are you talking about? Sorry. I don't see anything on this drawing that indicates that the light bar is definitively gone. Like maybe it's just not featured in this drawing.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's details missing from the drawing, like the drawing itself looks pretty good, and unless you're going to tell me that there's no, exterior markers, like no cutout window for the actual light bar, no, no indicator whatsoever there would be a light bar there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
unless the plastic is so thin that you could see right through it, they don't need a bar anymore. They could just light the whole controller up.
I was gonna try and oops, I went to the wrong screen. I was gonna try and show the drawing on the screen, but it doesn't matter. If you want to go look it up, you can go see. This is a Business Insider website, but the button, everybody's like, oh, the button, the big giant touchpad button is still there. And I'm looking at this drawing and saying that could be a number of things. That actually could be a little LCD screen. Like,
Just because it's a big rectangle, you don't think it's a button?
I mean, it probably is also a button, but like how the Elgato Stream Deck, how they have those LCD buttons.
Right.
Each one's a button. I mean, why couldn't that be a touch screen with different options that pop up? A little mini version of the map right there. I mean, it could be. It would be an expensive fucking controller.
Oh, yeah.
But then now really think about that. Think of like a Garmin GPS. Like that's all it does is GPS.
Right.
They sell those things for $100.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get the cost of those little basic LCD touch screens. It doesn't, it does kind of have to be in this day and age multi-touch, and maybe have some vibration feature like the phone. You tap your phone and you can have it vibrate if you want. But
Right.
I mean,
Because they did update the vibration that they're going to put in there, right?
well, it's like the Nintendo Switch controllers, the Joy-Cons,
the
hap-
HD Rumble.
haptic feedback. Yeah. So and another that kind of annoys me too. Every time somebody talks about that, they say, "Oh, you'll be able to realistically feel the different tension, like from drawing a bow," and they specifically cite Horizon 2. And I'm just like, there's so many cool things that you could do by putting those types of motors into the triggers, like more or less resistance for gas and brake when you're playing a driving game.
Driving. That'd be amazing.
And if you could have the analog sticks have resistance too, now you're really like variable resistance done with the motor.
Right.
That would be so.
That'd be like the next level of controllers. Now you're talking a real expensive. You're going to put an LCD screen on this thing, and you're going to make all of the triggers and joysticks have haptic feedback.
Do you have a picture of the drawing up?
I do.
Do you see that front, like where it shows just basically dead on, like straight on,
Okay.
and it's got the two little arrows.
Yep.
Yeah. The big rectangular button right at the top center, there's like a little line.
Like slit in it.
Yeah.
Like, didn't they say they were adding a microphone to that one? Or is this not? Or would that be what the bottom one is?
I mean,
like
that
under
one's
the center PlayStation button. I imagine.
Oh, that could be what that looks like. It would be a light though. But
Because I heard we were adding a microphone.
I would prefer that the controller, like, you don't, the speaker's kind of cool, but we don't need a microphone, do we?
I think the idea behind it would be to do away with the headset to make it easier for anyone to go online,
Yeah,
because then anyone could have a microphone.
but they include
go.
the mono headset with every console.
Right. I don't know. Beyond me then. Maybe it's to scream at it while you play Famicom games.
I guess, yeah. I guess the final thing to note is that it's got what looks like 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks at the bottom,
Yeah.
which
Like
is
they're,
interesting.
Do you think they're trying to push more of a surround sound out of the controller, or at least like more stereo or something?
Oh, like separate audio channels?
Right. Or like a separate in and out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't the big thing with the PlayStation 5 supposed to be like they bought some like Sony bought some audio company like a while back that specialized in like I think it's like 3D audio or something, and like the PlayStation 5 is supposed to be like they Mark Cerny was talking about it in one of those interviews that they did about the PS5 where it's like they're really focusing on like 3D audio for the PlayStation 5, so maybe it has something to do with that. Like,
More
I don't know.
more submersive audio.
Yeah,
Try and get you in there further.
I don't know.
Which
That would be cool. But
that
I'm
would
looking
be
at
awesome
that-
if you add in the PSVR along with it, if they really do carry it forward or even improve upon it further.
Well, I think we're gonna see a second model for sure.
Right. So, I mean, you get a second model of the PSVR, and now you're talking 3D audio and shit. That could be some really cool stuff.
I mean, this is Sony's own headset, and this thing does 5.1 surround sound.
Yep.
Not bad. But it's, it's simulated.
Right.
I think. I don't know anything about that. But I think the last thing to say about this new controller design is how when you look at the back view, they kind of fatten the whole thing up. Kind of looks like an Xbox controller a little bit.
Right.
Yeah? No? I don't know.
If it comes with improved battery life, like I'm always for it. And I don't know what kind of new motors and stuff you have to put in there for new rumble and everything else, or
yeah.
Do
all that stuff's gonna take up space. So
Do you do you like the symmetrical analog stick, or do you like the Xbox style asymmetrical?
I personally prefer the asymmetrical,
Yeah.
just
I like
because I feel like I can, like when I have to do the movement on the PlayStation one, I feel like I have to reach further than I really want to. And usually I feel like when I'm aiming with the right analog stick, I'm not using a face button to do an action. I'm usually using a trigger because, for like shooting or whatever else.
Right.
So I'd feel like just reaching over the D-pad is just a waste of space. Like Microsoft, I don't know if they know their D-pad isn't great or they just, nobody's told them yet, but not a big fan. Or they don't care.
Yeah.
But not a big fan of their D-pad, and it's not changing. So at least they tuck it out of the way so I don't have to deal with it as much. I don't have to reach over it constantly.
This is the Supreme layout. No.
That is.
No,
that
it's
is
not.
the supreme layout right
Fuck,
there.
fuck that layout.
No, right there, man. Both sticks up top, right where you need them.
It's actually
Buttons
not.
and D-pads are optional.
This is not a bad controller.
It's not.
I like.
I like that controller. Not for playing Nintendo games, though, unfortunately, because Nintendo games you use a lot of face buttons, so it's not ideal for Nintendo games. Great for all the other stuff, though. AAA third party, all day.
Oh well, we were talking about Stadia before, and somebody had thrown Guilt on there.
I did.
Oh, that
I'm
was
curious to see what Google does with their first exclusive game.
Yeah, is there?
This is what they're going to launch with. This is what they chose to represent the exclusive on their platform. So I'm interested to see what they do with it. And I hear that it's like a fun, spooky kind of game, like trying to get. When I read about it, it's supposed to be like a horror game, but they described it as like a PG or PG-13 horror game, like the kinds of things that you would see, like all the kids watching on Twitch and YouTube and stuff, like Five Nights at Freddy's or whatever all those other ones are.
Yeah.
You know, Bendy and the Ink Machine, The Park,
Right.
you know, shit like that you would watch Markiplier and PewDiePie and all them play,
Right.
and the kids go crazy for it, which is why I thought that was the kind of game they went exclusive with, because you look online and see what gets the most views and what's the demographic we're going to aim for. It's going to be slightly younger gamers,
I've got
people that are going to invest and stay in it, you know?
I've got a trailer for Gil. I posted it in the Twitch chat. If you guys want to watch that,
Yeah.
just let me know when you got it pulled up.
Yep.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, play. Stadia's got an interesting
You like that little
animation.
flash page there?
Yeah.
Just stopped looking.
I'll leave it to a Kaufman to disappear.
Find her.
It's an inside joke. That not one worth explaining.
No, not at all. Still fun though.
Yeah.
Emily? Come here.
Spooky. Well, I mean, this looks like it could run on a fucking iPad.
Right. So like the cartoony graphics I totally get, because it's gonna run great on pretty much anything. And it's still gonna hold up. I mean, this will still look just as good 10 years from now.
I need to find her.
That's terrifying, actually.
Is it though?
I don't know.
Or is it just terrifying enough
Yeah.
to capture a younger audience?
Oh.
I mean, I could definitely see that being something that blows up online.
It's a good possibility that becomes a hit, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right?
I think it's gonna be like a fault of like nobody's gonna play it because nobody's gonna buy Stadia.
Yeah.
It kind of has like a, not almost like that Little Nightmares style, kind of a little bit.
During the trailer, that was immediately what I thought. I was like, this is kind of like a 3D like Little Nightmares.
Right.
Mm.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot else to say about Guilt. You guys want to move along?
You
Huh? Oh.
Real quick before we get off the Stadia
Yeah.
conversation, because I just remembered something and I forgot to put it down. I don't know if you guys saw, like, a report came out that Amazon
Oh, they want to
is-
get into the streaming game too.
yeah, and apparently like this person talked to multiple different like game companies, and that apparently Amazon is like they've been working on it and that they're planning on releasing it like holiday of next year.
Hmm.
And I don't know, that just it's
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm kind of, eh.
Yeah.
like the same exact idea as Stadia, like a streaming.
It's
don't need a device.
a streaming service. Yeah, I don't know exactly.
I mean,
Like there was no details on like how like the structure of it was like you had to
Right, but
you know,
that they're looking to get
pay
into
for a
it.
service or it was just like Amazon is working on a streaming video game service.
I feel like that's gonna be probably more similar to the Apple Arcade and whatever Google's game thing that they tried to release right after Apple Arcade did. Which I'm telling you, I'm going to bat for Apple Arcade. I urge you guys both, if you haven't gotten into it, to. Oh, you have?
Pretty good.
Oh no, get it. Do you have an iPad or an Apple TV?
No.
Oh well, then maybe don't get it. I don't know.
See,
I mean,
that's just it.
wait.
though. Like,
What about your phone?
Yeah, I have an iPhone.
Which
but-
phone though? Is it big? Big screen?
Yeah.
Wait, do you have the one that has like the whole fucking front is just all screen? No button.
Mine's older.
Oh, okay, but it should still run on there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like I every time I log into the App Store now, I'm pretty sure it gives me a thing to like
You have iOS 13?
try. Yeah, it gives me an option to like try. Like I think there's like a week trial or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can do.
But not to go too off topic. Well, I mean that is the topic. But Amazon, here's the thing. And this is obviously we're just three dudes talking about video games on the internet. This show hasn't become anything, so this is not like a paid endorsement or anything. But I used to use. I mean, I am still an Amazon Prime member, and because of that, I used to use Amazon Unlimited Music. Then Spotify came out recently with this deal like, oh, sign back up or sign up for Spotify Premium and we'll give you a Google Home Mini smart speaker for free. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's a $50 fucking speaker. I'm doing that. So I did that. And I'm just like, Spotify, I'm glad I have it back. It gives me better suggestions for new music, whereas Amazon was like giving me suggestions for things that it thought that I would be interested in, like, I don't know, spending money almost. Like you listen to this artist and then all of a sudden you get like an ad for a t-shirt from that artist, and it's like, Amazon, I know you're going to use my information, but like use it constructively. Like don't try and sell me a fucking Nirvana t-shirt just because I listened to a Nirvana song the other day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like fuck off. So I feel like that's what their game thing is going to be too. It's going to be, they're not serious. Are they serious about gaming? I mean, they did buy Twitch, but
yeah, that's where I feel like it's like it gets weird because it's like, yeah, they have Twitch, so they kind of have some understanding of like gaming equals money, right? Like they at least know that. And the reason I thought of it is what Mike said about like Guilt being like the type of game that you could see like a bunch of YouTubers doing playthroughs and kids watching and stuff. It's like, yeah, like I feel like out of everybody in the space, they have the most like data on like what makes a good streaming game, what doesn't, like what are people watching, how long are they watching it for, and like I feel like they already have that kind of like user like I don't know if you guys have like Twitch Prime, but like they give away games every month.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
On like through Twitch Prime, it's like, what if all of a sudden it's like, hey, if you sign up for the streaming service, like,
just like a PlayStation Plus or Xbox. What is it? Live,
Xbox Gold,
Arcade Live.
Something like that.
They have a million fucking things.
Like, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get this streaming service for free anyway. Like, if they did something like that, then all of a sudden they immediately have this like huge user base, and they have Twitch as like an advertisement for it,
backdooring their way into being the largest streaming gaming service.
Well,
like U2 putting their album on everyone's phones.
Oh.
Yeah, like you don't have to have a good PC to stream on Twitch anymore. You can use our streaming service and you can stream in 4K.
Right.
Like, I could see them doing something like that and it working.
I mean, the idea of this thing working is like really exciting thought to me. Like, because if you have a computer that you put together to play games and play games on that computer, and then 5 years from then or 10 years from then, it's outdated. But if you could now use one of these services and still use that computer that you've been using for gaming and just stream games to it instead.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still like a physical person.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I hear you. We all want the shelf candy. We don't all want that.
Yeah.
A lot of people live in places where they can't even have something like that because you just don't have the space. Like you live in a studio apartment in New York City. It's 400 square feet. Like you don't even have room for a couch.
Yeah. Yep.
So that makes sense to go all streaming or all digital anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Just Amazon wants to get their beak wet, but Amazon is going to be the one that handles all the retail online. Like, they control that space. You've got Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo who are like, yeah, all your gaming bullshit, all you guys, is going to be whatever it is after the three of us. You know what I mean? Like, Google had a chance to do this thing right, and they fucked it up already. So I don't know that they're going to ever be like the place where you think, like, this is where I want to go to play my games, is with this little stupid controller and, like, a Chromecast. I don't know. I don't know that that's...
Another thing too that I thought was interesting that the article mentioned, and like I said, sorry for kind of throwing off topic here, but Amazon already has existing game studios.
Yes, but
have put out games before, and there was one game on there that I was like, oh, I've seen people play that. Like, that's like a not terrible game.
Yeah, but they acquired.
So like,
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so they have that as well, where it's like they already have experience in like what it is to like, like publish a game, put it out there, right? Like, they have a studio that's on their second, third game, then like, you launch with here's an exclusive game for our streaming service.
But I just want to be clear. Like, I get what you're saying, but like, they've acquired studios that have released games, but have they released a game under the control of Amazon?
I'm trying to.
Because I thought that the big one that everybody was waiting for got canceled, and they actually haven't.
No, so right now they have now remember, it was there's a Lord of the Rings MMO.
Oh.
That it hasn't come out yet. It's the release date is like for 2020.
Probably to coincide with the show that Amazon Prime is getting.
Yeah. But like, apparently, like, there was one other game though that's come out that I would have to look it up. I just don't have the information in front of me. It's kind of hard to. I've been trying to Google it, but I can't find the exact information I'm looking for. But yeah, like, they had a game that came out that it's published by Amazon from a startup. Like, they didn't buy a studio that they, it's like they started the studio and the studio came out with the game, and it was like a game that like I recognized by name and was like, oh, I've heard good things about that.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I think Amazon has a weird like pull there because they have Twitch.
Yeah, that's the one interesting part about the whole thing, I think, is that they could incorporate that in a big way. So I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm still sticking. I'm almost positive that I'm going to buy a PS5, barring the event that they have, some dumb bullshit like they did with the PS3 came out and they say it's like fucking $700 or something. Then I'll be like, nah, I'm straight. I feel like did you have something else about that?
I just wanted to ask before we completely moved on. So if Amazon does decide to go the Google Stadia route here, right?
Yeah.
And they come out with their first exclusive for their new platform, and they have all this Twitch data on what people are watching.
Yeah.
What are the 3 words that you use to describe their exclusive game? I'm saying that it's a MOBA shooter cleavage.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think that's usually what I see on Twitch when I open it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Battle Royale.
No, what do you see on Twitch? Honestly, though, like, what do you really see on Twitch? When you go on Twitch right now, what do you see?
Every single time I open Twitch, in my face, like almost every time, League of Legends. That game will not die.
See, for me, right now, when I go on Twitch, it's, aside from the people that I actually follow, but usually most of them, too, we'll be playing whatever like right now it's the Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep.
Everybody's playing that. That's what I see on Twitch right now. So like, you want that when you're a game company. So Twitch is gonna, describe their first game that comes out. It's gonna be something different every time. But I don't know that they're gonna. Hey, what's going on, Tim? I don't know that they're going to replace one of these big MOBAs, right?
Right.
When it draws so much attention to the site already, but maybe they work out some exclusivity. Like, you want to play the next one, you're playing it. You know, you got to buy it here through us.
Through us.
Something.
Right.
You know. I guess Steam and the Epic Game Store, right? Those are the direct competitors of whatever Amazon's next. You know, whatever that kind of, you know, they're not going to fuck around with physical media. Why?
I guess if you separate Steam and Valve as their own things, because when I think of Steam, I think of Valve.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, Valve still puts out stuff on other platforms.
Yes,
You
it does.
Remember the orange box?
Yep.
So
Yep.
there's nothing wrong with a bit of cleavage, even yours, Mark. That took a harsh turn.
All right. A little something for you right there.
Hey, thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. So yeah, I was thinking we could move on to the Game of the Year nominees, but first, just we don't really have to go into too much detail. These are just kind of like, well, one of them we can, but the Outer Worlds update happened. I mean, that's just worth mentioning that they finally increased the text size. You know, that was the
I
big.
wish so many more games would do this.
I think they're going. I think we're going to see that become like a trend. Like, it should be an option. The way that you can adjust the brightness. Like, I hate how they're like, adjust the brightness so that you can barely see the logo on the left side. And it's like, nah, I'm going to adjust the brightness a few clicks up from that. And like
So I
everybody.
can definitely see that logo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't fucking.
Yeah. Because what I want to do in my games is wander into a room and not be able to see the thing in the shadow,
Right.
rather than just turn the brightness up a little and be able to see it.
I mean, I think that the real reason that they include that is so that the blacks are like the rich, deep blacks, and they're not like that grayed out kind of
Right.
muddy mess.
Sure. Which makes sense if you're going for like the perfect graphical look. I
Right.
get it.
Right.
But I want to find the item that's behind the door in the shadow. So
Right.
excuse me for being a little washed out.
But I think that the text size should be a slider bar in every game.
Or you should at least have selectable options of, you know, this size, or this size, you know?
Oh, right, like regular.
Yeah, regular,
Larger or
large,
extra
large.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the point where it's like, you know, normal, large, and then visually impaired,
Like
you know,
Like when
fill
you're-
a screen.
like when your parents get a smartphone and they turn the text size all
Turn
the
that slider all the way up.
They're reading one text message, it takes up the whole screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we're all gonna get there one day, I think.
Yeah.
My eyes are still pretty good though. I just when I'm sitting that far away from the TV, it's like me or anybody else can't read the shit. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. Shit is too
Right.
small.
I've been playing Death Stranding a lot, and like
The
I literally
menus
have
are
to
that
sit-
is like the one thing that makes me go like, I don't know that I want to play this.
I have to sit like a foot away from the TV, or I can't read anything. It's just the text is so small.
Yeah, see,
Right.
Stupid.
and I'm looking like, do you remember the menus for Metal Gear 5? And like when you would finish a mission, it was like the same bullshit, just this massive amount of data and like all these animations and graphics, and it's like, how about this for animations and graphics? How about you make the graphics so I can read it? And it's not like the menu in Metal Gear 5 was like tilted on an angle and like almost like it was like a billboard or something. Like, why do I want to read the menu at like a 30-degree tilt? Like, just because it looks cool? Like,
Worked for Star Wars.
I don't know. I think when it comes to menus, the the less is more mentality is where everybody should be trying to go. Like, use more symbols and colors. Like, make it have high contrast. Don't make it like all blend in with the background. Anyway, yeah. Outer Worlds listened to the internet and they said, we want people to still like our game. Let's fix the one thing that everybody's complaining about. So good on them for doing that.
Yeah. You finally read it now.
The other thing was the limited run thing. Did you guys hear about that? Did you look
Oh my god, I did.
I did, yeah.
So the more I read about it, though, the more I kind of feel like the kid who put up the meme. So if anybody's watching this doesn't know what I'm talking about, a guy posted a meme, what he's calling a meme about limited run and how they used to be like selling you these really cool. The implication was that they used to sell really cool, exclusive, digital only games, and now it's become more of like a cash grab because they're just putting out what they know is going to sell and like doesn't necessarily, it's not the big indie supporter that it was, like, because now you got these Naughty Dog releases and like, all this other shit that's happening. With limited run, they're kind of blowing up. They're getting bigger, and this guy just didn't like it, so he made this meme. And what happened was somebody reported, or somebody caught wind of it at limited run, and the kid has now been blacklisted. He can't all his purchased items that he hadn't received yet were refunded, and he got a snarky remark from one of the limited run people talking about like, oh, don't put up bullshit, you won't get blacklisted, and everybody was kind of calling them out for being, a little too harsh,
Oversensitive.
But
Yeah.
when you look at the picture that he made, it does kind of look like one of Limited Run's posts that they often post, and it had some game on there that I forget which one it was, but it was, a AAA title that never would be a limited.
Skyrim, yeah.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's been out on everything, but
Right.
now it's a limited run game.
So while that is kind of funny, I could see how like that could mislead a bunch of people and why a company would want to take legal action for something like that.
Right.
But I feel like in this particular scenario, like I do think the kid was kind of being a dick. But I also think that they shouldn't have banned him. Like,
did you go further through the Reddit posts?
What, and like read the comments?
Yeah, like all the threads that came off of it. There was a dude in there who was saying that he knew somebody through Limited Run and said that this kid had been sending this meme or similar memes, of the same implication to them for quite some time and had been asked to stop already, and had also been posting them on Facebook, where Limited Run was then getting contacted about, oh, are you guys really doing a Skyrim run? Are you guys really doing a this run?
Right.
To the point where they had to put out a statement to say, listen, we're not doing these games. Somebody's putting this stuff up there, and it's not really us. So I guess somebody's saying, each side of the story, I don't know how true either one is. I don't know any of these people personally, so I can't say. But
you do kind of, if you're going to be serious about it, you do kind of have to just make an example out of somebody. I mean, you can't just be like, oh, this is bad, don't do it, but we're still going to let you come buy stuff from our website. Like, But it is horrible press, and you got so many people who are like, well, I never knew who you were, and now you're never getting my business anyway. And you got other people that are like, I'm not spending another $1 on your website, and I'm over here like, I'll still buy fucking Vita games if you release them, so go do whatever you want. I'm not gonna make any memes about your website. So.
And did you see the list of that guy's like pre-orders and stuff? Like he had been ordering almost every game they had put out, like as far as you could see up that list. He got it.
Yeah.
So for them to like shut off a customer spending that much money. Like if
dumb.
you like maybe bought from them 3 or 4 times and were harassing them with memes and causing a problem on their social media and stuff, then I could see you like being like, nope, shut it down. This is what happens.
Right.
But like somebody that's buying every single thing you guys put out, even if you did put out Skyrim on the PS4, like that dude would still buy it because it probably has a limited run sticker on it.
But I thought they did put out Skyrim on the PS4.
I don't know that Limited Run did. But
No. Bethesda did.
Yeah, right.
That's where like this gets weird. I don't know. I feel like Limited Run does like E3 press conferences, and that's literally all it is. It's like them for an hour making like memes and jokes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
so it's like weird for a company to be like that, like seem to be like that, like in touch with like internet culture and like how things work, but then also be like, but you can't make memes about our games or what we're
Mhm.
selling because that's bad. It's like, well, like I feel like you kind of invite it there, don't you? Like to some
Yeah.
like they've literally like it's like a thing. Like they've done it the past 2 years. It's like they get like hyped up anytime you see any like outlet around E3 like talking about the press conferences they're going to cover. You'll see Limited Run in the comments like, "Don't forget about ours at 8 p.m." And it's just like it's literally just like an hour of it's a I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Devolver Digital's press conferences at
No.
E3, but it's very similar. Like it's just we're gonna make fun of E3 and how serious everybody is, and like it's very like internet memey. Like
We're cool because we're not
Yeah.
into this like you are.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing to do to isolate your
Yeah.
So-
or
don't know.
to separate your fan base that way because and I think if this thing caught like major traction and then got a lot of and I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet, and I'm wondering if I'm going to hear about it in the news next week. Have you heard anybody bring it up in any shows, any podcasts you listen to?
No.
No, not yet.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it did get started getting talked about that they don't go, you know what, we were wrong. You can buy stuff from us, and then the whole internet's gonna be like, boo.
I did see them. Did you see? I believe their Instagram today. They're like blowing up, trying to prop themselves up, showing off. They had a pop-up store that opened up for the weekend or something, trying to show off how long their lines.
I did
People
see
are
this-
still out here to support it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on. I want to say it was Instagram.
I didn't see that.
Trying to promote and be like, we're still popular, guys. Everybody still loves us.
I mean, you're gonna have you're gonna have people who don't give a fuck and continue to buy things from Limited Run. I think you're gonna have a good amount of people who are like, I'm never buying anything from them again, and then still buy from them, and just maintain that they don't, but they do.
Right.
And then there'll be some people who don't, but I feel like anybody who already was buying stuff from them is most likely gonna continue.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
care if
If
this
you guys
if-
have the product that I want, like regardless of what your beef with this guy is, like I'm not sending you memes and I'm not expecting you to accept my memes. So
yeah, because like
if you want to bring memes into this transaction, then we can talk about something else. But right now I have money and you have a game, you want to trade.
right. I mean, this guy making memes, and you're telling me that he's constantly sending them to somebody who works for the company. I could see the company being like, "No, fuck that! Like this dude's harassing us, and fuck you.
Yeah.
You're not buying."
Yeah,
shit.
because I also heard that they threatened legal action against him, or implied that there could be legal action if he kept it up.
Right, and I remember that part of the tweet looked a little. I was like, "Ooh, that's what that's what your representative is saying." They're sending emojis in a fucking.
Very professional. I love getting emojis over a tweet from someone who's supposed to be the face of a thing.
Like the legal representative of a company.
Yeah.
I don't know, but so.
So I
It
feel
is-
like I'm not like another thing with this too is like I kind of cut them off at the beginning of this year, actually last year, because of an interaction with their customer service. Like their customer service is awful. And so then like when I saw this, my first reaction was like, okay, so I'm not the only one, right? Like that was like my first reaction was like, they do this to everybody. Like
Right.
I don't know.
So maybe it is a problem. Maybe they just have poor customer relations.
Well, I
Like
feel like they've got.
Bring forward a good product, but
I feel like they've got a small team, right? And getting all these orders out, and like everything's got to be produced, and they have all these things going on at one time, and it's probably not easy. But my experience has been, I've had a few troubling. Like one time, I got on there and I ordered a game for the Vita, Salt and Sanctuary. I got it in my cart and I bought it. And when I went to the purchases, it somehow had selected the PS4 version instead. And that's the one I got. And I was like, could I dispute this? Send it back to them? Or is it gonna be a fucking headache? How badly do I care? So I just didn't, apprehend that. There was another time when I got the second Jak and Daxter game. I secured that, but then I looked at the original posting and it had the description for the original one. So I tweeted at them and asked if that was just a mistake on their part, and they were like, they actually responded and were like, "Oh yeah, good catch. We're gonna change that right now." And yeah, because I made like a joke, like, I'm still gonna get mine, right? And they were like, "Oh yeah, you're getting the one that you ordered." And I had one other problem where when I moved, I tried to change my address and it wasn't letting me do it at first. But then one day it just worked. So I don't know. It is what it is. This company, they're providing a service that not many other companies do. And for that reason, it's probably going to continue to do well until people don't give a shit anymore.
Or they have competition.
Which there are, but they seem to all support each other. Like limited run games and then special reserve games. And then there's like some other one. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway.
I feel like competition could be good for that market.
Speaking of competition, the Game of the Year nominees for 2019 have been announced. And I thought that there were some interesting choices here.
Yeah, actually, looking over this list made me definitely every year I feel like I look at all the games that they put on the Game of the the Game Awards, for all the categories, not just Game of the Year. Like a lot of people looking just Game of the Year, but and find usually one game that I've heard of but never played and am intrigued by what the hell is going on here. So I found that game, That Dragon Cancer, a couple of years ago by watching Game Awards, and it won some award, and I was like, well, what the hell is this? So I checked it out and I was like, all right, that was fun. But this game,
fun? I thought that game wasn't fun.
Well, not fun, but
right. No, it provided an engaging,
enjoyable experience.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
So the one that keeps popping up all throughout this year is, I don't know how to say, is it Gris or Gris or
Gris? I think it's.
Yeah. Is it supposed to be French or?
Probably.
But yeah, this is the one that's caught my eye this year that I've been looking at. I mean, category after category in here, somehow it keeps trying to sneak its way in. And
I don't know Gris, but how do you spell it?
Yeah, I watched GRIS. And I watched the trailer for it, and it's, still cannot nail down what exactly this game is.
Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure, can't you buy that on limited run right now?
Yes, you can. They just announced it right after all these nominations went up.
Oh, here's a launch trailer.
Can I also say that out of all of the categories this year, I feel like there's a huge concentration on esports.
Oh, yeah?
And the streaming, the more media side of video games rather than the video game side of video games, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like presenters and stuff.
Right.
Are we gonna sync up this Gris trailer? Do you want to?
Yeah, you have the
launch
link.
Trailer for PS4. Oh, you yeah, hold on. Copy. Oops. There it is.
Wanka. Sorry.
Reading Tim's chat.
Yeah.
I like how you could see my suggested videos are all
All angry video game.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
fun.
they're all Cinemassacre. Right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes. All right, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, play. Cool art style.
Yeah, the art
Right.
style is awesome.
Reminds me of Journey. Looks very interesting. I wonder what the gameplay actually is, though. Did you watch any of that?
No, I didn't. I was trying to decide if I wanted to ruin it for myself. Oh, that's awesome. My next suggested video was the ending cutscene for the game. In case you just want to go from trailer to spoiler.
Dude, mine went into like a scene from American Sniper. Just really, a really weird transition there.
Yikes. So anyway, yeah, that looks cool. But
Yeah, so a lot of these other ones I've heard of and seen a little bit of. So, like, this is the one that caught my eye this year because I've heard probably the least about it. I do remember when it came out. It actually came out in December of last year. So I remember hearing about it right before the end of the year discussions. And people were like, oh, I'm playing this and it's really cool, but, you know, Game of the Year's over, so whatever.
Right.
And that's usually how it goes for December games, I guess. But
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
Which is like what the Game Awards like really tries to do is they have like a hard cutoff date
yeah,
for when you can submit stuff. That's why like Smash Ultimate's in here.
yep.
Even though it came out last year, and like that's why you don't see any Star Wars in here at all.
Yeah, because it didn't make the cut.
Yep.
Yep.
Because it was like right on the deadline.
Yeah, and I heard people saying that it wouldn't be included next year, but I think it will be. It'll be one of the nominees.
I mean,
But I was
Depends what comes out next year.
because like you have to think about the games that are coming out next year, like Cyberpunk, Last of Us 2, like there's like a new Halo, like there's a lot of
right, but look at
big
how many
games
games
coming
you've
up.
got here, and like, so for Game of the Year, it's Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds.
like I think in this group, like Star Wars fits better and may have had a chance of actually winning. Next year it's gonna get.
Do you think that Resident Evil 2 is going to take that one though?
Out of all these games that I've played, I think Resident Evil 2 is my pick. Yeah.
I personally would vote for Resident Evil 2, but I hate to say that I would not like to see it win.
Why?
Just because it's a remake of a game that already exists.
Yeah.
And like I know they put all that work into it and everything, but it's not even like an original idea. Like if I'm gonna start giving it to that, then what's gonna stop every company from just taking the best game they ever made and making a new shiny version of it every year
Well,
to try and sell it?
I mean,
They did add like a bunch of stuff to it though.
Yeah,
It's not
but-
just like
Yeah, no,
one for
I
one.
mean,
but the game has never existed before. Like that story has existed, and games have been rebooted. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like you're basing it off of the experience, and if the experience was good and it came from a, you can't even call. I mean, it's a remake. It's not a remastered version. So if it was a remastered version, I would take issue with it. I think, but totally made
But
from
they
the
did
ground
enough.
up.
They've done enough work to it that.
I mean, it's a brand new game. Like,
Okay, so here's the question then: if they turn around and do Resident Evil 3 and release it next year, they already have the engine for 2. They barely have to redo. They already have a Raccoon City, which is where 3 takes place.
I'm willing to bet that
That rumor came out this week. That Resident Evil 3 remake is coming out next year.
I'm willing to bet it wouldn't be considered for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
So,
Once again, I think the only reason that this is even in the conversation is because there wasn't like I feel like this year was very weak for.
It wasn't
like,
as
standout game. Like you didn't have, like I said, like if you just look at like the games that are like, even if like obviously you don't know the quality of them, but just like the games that are supposed to come out next year, like versus like the games that came out, like there was no like huge. Like there wasn't like a God of War this year, or like a Red Dead Redemption 2. Like there wasn't
hype
that
game.
huge, like here's Rockstar's new game. Here's.
I mean, you don't think that that's what Death Stranding is, though? That's the one that had all the hype behind it.
Yeah, but it only had hype around it because
But it sucks.
who's making it.
Yeah, but who cares? Okay.
Right, but okay. So I guess my thing is right. Like, why did Red Dead Redemption 2 have so much hype around it? Well, because you can go look at the last 5 Rockstar games and be like, they're all great. Whereas, like, what can you base, like, Metal Gear Solid 5 was, I think, like, a step backwards. Like, it wasn't a gameplay wise good, but like, it wasn't a good game, right? Like, it was clearly unfinished, and you can say that wasn't his fault or not, or his fault, right? But like, it's still like.
But if he
and the studio's brand new, they've never made anything else. It's like.
But if Hideo Kojima says that announces tomorrow that he's working on his next game, the hype's there already for it. It doesn't matter why the hype's there.
It's not for the game; it's for him, right? Like it's because he's making something.
Right. Okay, so. Wait, I see what you're saying. That this was because he's making it, and these other ones is because you can go and look at the last 5 Rockstar games and say like these were all great, but regardless of what the reason is, that's why the hype will be there. So like I think this game, Death Stranding, is the one that we'd seen it. I mean, for years they've been teasing that game. Like remember the original trailer? It was like, what the fuck is this weird shit?
Even that, like it's like they didn't even show off gameplay until 2017. Like it like had like a super, like I don't know, I feel like people had like way
and wasn't it all at the video game awards too?
Yeah, like I don't even think we saw gameplay in 2017. I think it was just a cinematic. Like I think the first gameplay we saw of this game was last year. Like and then they just like this year they just rapid fire like every video game conference that there was. It was like, here's a new 8-minute trailer, so it seems like it's been out there for a long time, but like I don't know, I really feel like the hype around this was just that Kojima's making a game and nobody's like telling him what to do. He can do whatever he wants, which is like clear when you play the game. It's like, yeah, that's what it is, but like I don't know.
Do you guys want to go through some of these categories?
Yeah. So what about you, Mark?
What?
For Game of the Year, what's your pick?
Well, I haven't played enough of those games. I personally think it's going to be Resident Evil. That's just a hunch that I have, but
I could see.
I mean, I've played the Outer Worlds, Smash, and that's it.
I've heard really good things about Control.
Control will probably be out of the rest of these the only other one that I will play. I don't have fond memories of Resident Evil 2. If I was gonna play Resident Evil 2, I'd almost prefer to go back and play the original first. Just That's a surprise, and I don't think I'll do that. So I'm just being honest. I think that Resident Evil, like I watched gameplay of it. It looks great. It looks like it's super fun.
It's really good.
So the next one is action game, and again, I haven't played much of anything on this list. Apex Legends,
That's probably
Astral Chain, COD, DMC 5, Gears 5, and Metro Exodus.
I think it's in this category. It's either going to be Apex or Call of Duty.
I think it's going to be Call of Duty.
Call of Duty's was like, I think, I don't know. I have it because I buy Call of Duty every year because I'm dumb. I don't think it's great. Like, it's not a good Call of Duty, but it's better than the last like 3 or 4 Call of Duties.
Yeah. And I think that's also what it is that helps it too, is that it has the Call of Duty name. Because I honestly think that Apex is more fun than Call of Duty is. Like,
Yeah.
the 3-man squads, the battle royale mechanic. Like, I think all that's super fun. And even though Call of Duty is like super fast paced, which keeps it feeling fun and always interactive, like can't get away from all these videos of people just getting blown up by claymores for 15 minutes straight.
Yeah, it's super campy. It's
And that's
Oh, that's Call of Duty, you're saying?
Really, yeah. I could really see Apex winning this just because of like it didn't have any build up to it, right? They just kind of dropped it and were like, let's see how this does.
They dropped
exactly.
They dropped it like it was hot.
Yeah.
It's a free game too, which like I don't know if that adds anything to this, but like value wise, obviously, like
right.
get a lot.
It makes it
out of
more
Apex than
accessible.
out of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So action adventure. Borderlands 3. I mean, say no more, right? Everybody
I don't know,
loves
I heard
it.
really good things about Control.
Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Link's Awakening, which Mike thinks can't be considered because it's already been a game before.
See, I
It's
feel
already
like
been
I
done,
would've-
man, twice.
But see, like it's weird because it's like I would agree on that one
Yeah. See?
because it's literally
just
one
a
for
new
one. They
art
didn't do
style.
anything other than reskin it.
No,
Like, it's just-
but they did. They programmed that whole thing. They didn't just reskin the old one. That's they made the game.
Yeah, but as far as like the game itself, right? It's the exact same game. It just looks different.
Right, but the award's going to like the team that made it, and it's being presented for the experience it brought. So like, there's no rule that says it can't be a game that existed.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think that one's gonna win, but
Right.
No, I don't think so.
it definitely deserves to be there.
Sure, it can be mentioned all day, but do I ever think that it's going to win? No.
I mean,
because I feel like it doesn't.
for
like,
my
the difference
action
between-
adventure game of the year, it's my winner because it's the only one I played.
Right. And that's fucking perfect.
Right.
But did they add anything else to it? I mean, other than taking the DX version and just making new art style?
They added one mode to the game where like you can build stuff
Build your own dungeons.
Oh,
from everything that
The
I've
dungeon
heard.
builder.
It
It's,
sucks.
It's not good.
not great. Yeah.
You can only use pieces of dungeon that you've
And
already. Yeah, it's lame.
does that even fold in with the rest of like the story, or is that just
Nope.
kind of like a thing you do
Yeah,
off
it's
on the
just a
side?
side thing.
Yeah.
So like the step from original to DX is potentially even more for the gameplay than the step from DX to Switch,
Well,
because you got the color dungeon.
well, that's in there though. If you choose to go find it.
Right. So they kept everything from DX,
Yeah.
but then tagged on a dungeon builder
Yeah.
that's just like a side shoot thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hmm.
You do it
Yeah.
one time, it's kind of fun, and then you never go back and do it again.
Never touched again.
See, that's my favorite. That's my favorite Zelda 2D Zelda game.
Yeah.
I really like it, but not enough to like. I didn't want to pay in $60 for it again.
I'm glad to hear when someone's favorite Zelda game is a 2D Zelda game, but why this one, man? The jumping drives me
I just really like
freaking
the-
nuts.
I like that it's not like it's non-traditional, right? It's not like, oh, you have to save Zelda from Ganon. Right? It's like it's a different story. It's unique, right?
Oh, you
Oh.
just mean like the windfish, you know what I mean? Like the because there's no Zelda, that's what does it for you.
Yeah, no, just
So, like,
overall, the
did you,
story,
like-
the story of?
Oh, that
this-
game's called Zelda doesn't have Zelda in it.
Doesn't have Zelda in it. This is the adventure of Link. Thank you. uh, so then you really like? Did you play the Oracle of Seasons and Time?
Is that like a 3DS one?
No, those were the
Game Boy Color.
I think I played all the 2D ones up until the DS came out. I don't remember them by name.
So yeah, that would be included. They came out as like a pair. One is Seasons and one is
Ages.
yeah, yeah.
Ages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, those were. I thought those were really good too, but that was actually the. I'm pretty sure those also have the Rock's Feather, so you do jumping in those. I think that was my first introduction to the jumping, because I skipped Link's Awakening until I was older. So
I've only played a little bit of it. I mean,
Still-
no, wait, not Link's Awakening. I thought you were talking about Link to the Past for some reason.
oh no, I've played that game a billion times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art direction, presented by Samsung QLED.
Oh, thank you, Samsung.
So lame. Control, Death Stranding, Gree, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sekiro, and Zelda. Link's Awakening, obviously.
I don't know, man. That one we just watched, that trailer, though, that was like the one thing that stuck out to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
for
art stuff.
art direction, for sure, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really good. I don't know enough about some of these. Like, I don't know anything about Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah, it's kind of.
So, like, I
Although-
can't say anything there. But for art direction, I mean, Gree looks great, but also, like, the Zelda game, that's, like, the only thing they had going for it this year. So if you were going to give it something, like, art direction's the way to give it, because that's
Yeah.
what everybody noticed. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I love this game, but now it looks great.
I don't know. But do you need to give Nintendo an award? Then they don't have
because
enough.
They have their own category, so they'll get one anyway.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie though, like looking at like these lists, like Death Stranding is gonna win like 90%.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a
It's
sweep.
just gonna clean up.
But like I said, I'm pretty sure that all of the stuff that they put out was originally like a big thing for the video game awards. They went there and they were like, "Hey, look, Death Stranding. It's a thing."
And like,
Are you guys gonna
Looking at-
cast your ballots? Because I'm not voting for shit.
yeah, no, I'm not voting either. But
So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it will be Death Stranding for everything because people are just gonna
They're just gonna leave it and wait.
like,
they're gonna rig the internet.
Yeah.
Do you care about audio design?
no, not the audio design in Call of Duty is trash. That shouldn't even be in there.
Really?
It's so bad. Yeah,
Is it?
it's not good.
This one is community support. That's interesting. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Rainbow Six Siege.
So
I don't know enough about any of those to even have an opinion. Apex.
I would be shocked.
Or
if
Fortnite.
doesn't
Oh yeah,
get it.
that's right. It's Fortnite. It's gotta be.
yeah, I hate to say it, but I think that Fortnite really actually deserves it. Like that game, all I hear about from people about that game is, "Oh, did you see the new update? You see what they did this week? You see what they did this week? You see what happened yesterday? You hear about what
Yeah,
happened in Fortnite?" Like,
The stuff that they do in that game for like, it's just insane. Like it,
Yeah.
it outperforms all these. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Content creator of the year looks like a fucking sausage party.
Yeah.
dude, where are we?
No, Ewok's a girl. She was just like 13. So she's,
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
yeah. And she's deaf. I could see her winning.
And she's
With,
deaf.
like a, yeah.
Sympathy vote.
She's like really good at Fortnite and she's deaf, which is kind of crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Are these all Twitch people?
Why? Because
Uh,
Ninja's not there. Is that why you're
Not
asking?
No.
anymore. Shroud's on Mixer.
Yeah,
now,
I was gonna say,
Oh.
didn't Shroud also
yeah.
get a mixer?
and Courage signed with YouTube.
So, okay.
Huh.
I was
I don't
just
know who that-
wondering.
I don't know who David Martinez is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
that'll be one that I.
How do you judge a content creator? That's kind of weird, to be
I
honest.
know it's such an objective. Well, they're saying or subjective thing. And this
Yeah.
is what esports coach. No, thank you. Esports event. You've got Overwatch,
Evo,
Evo.
Fortnite. What is IEM? Any idea?
No idea.
Let's look it up. Um,
League of Legends and the International. I don't know what that is either.
World Championship. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, Counter Strike.
Oh, Counter Strike. Okay. And then
Yeah.
the International.
Intel Extreme Masters. League of Legends at the International. What's the International?
Isn't that I don't know. I'm not gonna say.
Oh, it's a movie with Naomi Watts
Sick.
from 2009.
Esports Game of the Year: CS:GO, Dota 2, Fortnite, League of Legends, Overwatch.
Dota 2 is the International.
Gotcha.
I'm just going through these now. Esports host, don't care.
Dude,
Esports player, don't care. Wait, is that dude who got that Blitzchung dude? Oh no. Esports team, family game.
Here we go.
Luigi's Man.
Nintendo.
Yeah, Luigi's Man. Oh, this is. Wow, it really is.
It's the Nintendo category. We don't know what else to do with you because the rest of our show is kind of leaned towards gritty video games. So, family category. Let's give Nintendo an
I'll
award.
tell you
See,
what.
that's like it's like such a weird category. Like, how do you describe like a family game? Like, how would you compare these?
Is it made by Nintendo?
I don't know what family.
family game.
What family
Would it
is
be the best game out of this group, or like, is there some?
what family is playing fucking Super Mario Maker 2 on like extreme?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, who says you have to play it on extreme?
I'm just saying that game. I feel like is not a family game. That's a throw shit across the room game.
Can be, yeah.
This is the first time I've been excited to try a Luigi's Mansion. I think I
I
might
heard
buy.
it's really good.
Yeah, I think I might buy it.
Yeah.
All I've been hearing is good things about it.
I
But
did like the other two.
that Yoshi game, I do love Yoshi.
Mm.
I watch people play Yoshi. It's like, I mean, if I would say anything as a family game, it's like that. It's like the hardest difficulty is like easy mode. Like,
Yeah.
it just seems like a game that you just play to like play it, but like there's not going to be any challenge.
Best fighting game?
I think Smash should win that.
I really would love to see Mortal Kombat take it.
Mm. Yeah.
I didn't even know Dead or Alive 6 was a thing. I'm about to have to pick that up. I always liked Dead or Alive. I'm the
I
worst.
do enjoy their good jiggle physics.
Yeah, they have the best.
They do.
Um,
No joke. Somebody put some work in.
oh, the best fresh indie game presented by Subway.
By Subway. I love that. Dude. Let's
So
go.
lame.
The fresh indie game.
What the fuck is that? Outer Wilds, Nomada Studio, Dead Toad. Wait. Oh, these are the names of the studios.
Yeah.
I see.
Yep.
So the
A
game
lot of
is
people were saying
Disco Elysium, Gree, My Friend Pedro. What the hell is that?
it's like a twin stick shooter type game.
Oh, yeah, I do
But
remember
it's like
hearing
from
about that.
like a
Oh my god, Untitled Goose Game is in there? That's gotta be the winner, right?
I was gonna say my vote would be for Untitled Goose Game because
Yeah.
that game was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that game blew up too.
Yeah.
So,
Game
I
That'd
heard
be
a lot
cool.
of people complaining that Outer Wilds
yeah.
wasn't in the Game of the Year category.
I've never seen what it even looks like, so.
It's weird because it's so in name so similar to Outer Worlds that
Right.
I feel like people get them mixed up all the time. But apparently, it's like a No Man's Sky type game. It's like a space exploration
Okay.
game, and it's supposed to be really good.
Is it procedurally generated?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it's like that crazy, but I think there might be. I don't know. I've heard. It's
Will
really good.
there be multiplayer?
And that's like what people were describing it as. It's like it's No Man's Sky, but it launched good.
Game Direction Award has a lot of the same nominees. Games for Impact. Concrete Genie. That's the first time I've seen that one brought up. Agree, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, Sea of Solitude.
I just haven't played.
So this makes me even more curious, like I said, about Gree, because, I mean, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message,
Yeah.
like from that trailer, did that jump out at you guys?
No.
Because it just looks like a really pretty art style.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it looks like a million
So-
things before it.
Right. It just builds that intrigue of what the story is behind it.
Yeah, when I'm trying to zone out and do nothing, that's when I don't play video games. So I don't know that I want to.
Oh, your mic cut out there for a second.
Mine did?
Yeah.
I was saying, like, if I want to zone out and do nothing, then I don't play a game. I just watch TV or something.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, there's a shit ton more of these categories, but I'm seeing a lot of the same names.
Goose Game for independent game. It gets in there.
Yeah. Then you go next to mobile game, and there's that Sayonara Wild Hearts again. I hope it's What the Golf, though,
So
because that game's so good.
another one that I've heard about that I haven't tried is Call of Duty Mobile. I heard is like really good.
Really?
I don't know.
No,
People were like,
it's not.
buy that instead of the new Call of Duty because it's much better. That's what I've heard. I haven't played it, but people
Download
seem
it.
to
It's
be
free.
happy with that one.
Yeah.
I just
mean-
don't like playing things on my phone. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And
I
to
don't
be
like-
fair, everybody that I've seen play Call of Duty Mobile has been using an emulator and playing it on PC. So, but I've heard it's good. So,
Of course they are.
Runs great on a brand new PC.
Multiplayer Tetris 99.
I like Tetris
Let's
99
go.
in there. That's
Let's
a solid
go. That's what I want to see. Narrative. When you see Death Stranding in there, like, there's no way that can win for narrative, though. I mean, right? Isn't it just like very?
I
Box delivery.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody
I can
knows.
see it
That's
winning.
the problem.
Like, yeah, Death Stranding's a weird one.
Ongoing games probably gonna be Fortnite.
Yeah, definitely.
Performance is gonna be Ashley
Fine.
Birch, I think. It could be Mads Mikkelsen. Oh, Norman Reedus could take
yeah,
that one.
It's one of those two for sure. Like, I feel like it's almost not fair to have Death Stranding in here. It's gonna clean up. Like,
RPG, do you think it's gonna be Kingdom Hearts? I didn't think it made as big of a splash as I expected it to. It might be Outer Worlds, to be honest.
yeah,
Or Monster Hunter World.
that Disco Elysium game I've also heard really good things about. I haven't
Yeah. I didn't even
tried it
watch the
myself,
trailer.
but I've heard good things.
Cadence
Now
of
people do like
Hyrule
a 3.
for music.
Yeah,
Forgot about that game. I like that Devil May Cry's in there too. I haven't heard it, but that makes me want to play it and listen to how good the music is. Best racing game. Is it Crash?
Oh, it's just no, dude. This is weird because
Oh,
they
FIFA.
group it with sports games
Yeah.
too.
Sports
so, yeah.
racing.
So it's-
FIFA's gonna win.
FIFA's like,
Yeah.
isn't that like the one game that they play in the most countries?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's almost not fair to put
it's
them
like
in the
why
same.
EA like can continue to like just screw up on all their other franchises because
Because
just
FIFA.
makes so much money for them.
FIFA though.
Oh yeah, you remember like what was it last year or the year before? They had that whole fucking thing about buying cards to like make teams or some shit like that, and like kids were buying it with their parents' credit cards and just
Yeah.
buying these packs and
Yeah.
EA,
Crazy.
you never learned.
I'm at the last one. VR game.
Yeah, VR game.
Asgard's Wrath, Blood and Truth, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, and Trover Saves the Universe.
I think it'll be between Blood and Truth and Beat Saber.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things about both of those.
Yeah, I've heard Beat Saber come from just about everyone who buys a VR is like, dude, have you played Beat Saber?
Yeah.
But
Blood
I
and
would love
Truth
to
is
see
a
Trovers get a nod.
Sony exclusive.
Yeah, so I mean there it is. The nominees for the 2019 Game of the Year awards, or what, the Game Awards. Sorry.
The Game Awards. I always like watching them. There's like fun announcements that they do at the Game Awards. Like they'll announce different upcoming games and stuff. It's almost turned into like a mini E3 press conference in between like the awards. And then usually there's like some goofy moments
Yeah.
where it's like somebody didn't expect to win and they have to get up there and talk and like, oh
What-
man, this person's been drinking a lot tonight.
When is the Game Awards?
I think
December
it's usually,
12th.
early December. Yeah.
So Thursday, December 12th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Maybe we could get on and do this that night and just watch it live and react.
Yeah. That'd
I
be
don't
fun.
know. That's for not for a while though. A few more weeks. I think we can call it a successful podcast tonight. We're right at the 2-hour mark, which is where we were last time. And we hit every topic except for the Black Friday for games. But, we'll be in the middle of that next week.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be one day. It's going to be all weekend.
Well, yeah, there's
Yeah.
like Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So kind of goes all weekend. I think the only reason I threw that category in there was because when you were playing Zelda on stream, we were having that conversation, and I was telling you about how I didn't want to pay $60 for Zelda,
Right.
and then I saw that I think Target is going to have it for $30,
Oh, nice.
and I was like super shocked because Nintendo games never go on sale. I
Yeah,
was like, oh,
ever.
like, maybe I will get that.
Yeah, those Switch games fit nice in a stocking, too. So, well, that's cool. Do you guys want to, do you have anything you want to plug? You got a new video yet, Mike?
Working on editing because that program really fucked me on that one. So, but yeah, it'll be out the day before Thanksgiving, so the Wednesday before. The new one will be up, and then if all goes well, hopefully we're gonna be doing a stream. I guess later this morning now. We're gonna be playing the game for the next video that we're gonna do, so that's gonna be fun.
You're going to be streaming, after we do this?
Not like right now because
Oh.
he's asleep and it's fucking 1 a.m.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Like I'm gonna go to bed and then maybe after I wake up and eat some breakfast or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're gonna try and give it a shot tomorrow.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Pop, you got anything to plug?
No,
Not,
been lazy.
not streaming or anything?
It's too much work going on. I have no time to do anything.
All right. Well, you could catch me streaming Monday at around 5:15, swearing at fucking Cuphead again, and and Mondays and Wednesdays at 5:15. And when I beat that, then I'll probably go back to streaming God of War, because that's all I really want to play right at the current time. So,
Nice.
so yeah, I'm gonna play us out for 30 seconds. So don't talk or talk. I don't care. But I'm going to the stream ending screen. So until next time, peace.
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 Oh, and Chris of Bodum just popped in the chat. Glad I made it for the
I'm
end.
glad you made it too.
That was a good